Welcome to the Gym Breakthrough Podcast. This show is about one thing and one thing only, turning your gym into a thriving business you love to own. So if you want to know what it really takes to grow your membership, make more money, and build a rock-solid community of raving fans, you've come to the right place. All this information is 100% free, so please subscribe to and review our podcast. Enjoy the show. Welcome to the Gym Breakthrough Podcast. I am Marcus Gurzy, and joining me today is the fabulous Emily Schneller, Program Manager and fellow Breakthrough Specialist here at Gym Breakthrough. And today we are going to be talking about several ways that you can increase your member engagement in your gym's Facebook group. We're also going to get into some common questions that we hear from gym owners, like how often should we be posting in the group? And how do I know what content to post in the group versus outside the group on our public page and so on. But before we get into that, Emily, how the heck are you?
I'm doing great. I spent all weekend learning some knowledge bombs at my CrossFit Level 2 Coaches Seminar. Yeah, it was a good time. The gym that hosted the seminar was actually the gym that I started as an athlete when I started CrossFit 10 years ago. So it was like it made it all full circle. It was fun.
No kidding. That's awesome.
How
The
about
L2,
yeah.
L2, I think, is one of the best ones that CrossFit put out there.
Yeah.
My weekend was pretty awesome. I spent Saturday Christmas shopping and then getting caught up on Star Wars movies. We are in preparation for the movie that's coming out on, I think, Friday is the final movie. And my 5-year-old son recently got very into Star Wars. And so we're going to take him out to that. And so before that, we had to get caught up on all the Star Wars movies. So we've literally been
We have that in common.
And are working our way all the way through. We only have 2 left, and then we are current.
I love it. My 6-year-old son, his whole room is decorated in Star Wars stuff. He loves Darth Vader. I actually found a video of him like singing the Death March, the Imperial March, like at the top of his lungs when he was 3. He's always been obsessed with Star Wars. So
awesome.
Good stuff.
Awesome. All right.
All right. Should we jump right in?
Let's jump right in. So Emily, you take it from the top. You are our in-house content expert. You have you get to see, obviously you do a great job with Rue, but you also get to see what's working well with our clients and what people are doing. So I'll let you kick it off.
Sounds good. The boutique fitness gym model is largely based on the relationships that we're building with our members, right? But you're never going to grow and scale if you, the owner, is responsible for maintaining all of those relationships, just because you can't be everywhere at once, right? So what we're talking about here is how can you systemize relationship building so your team knows exactly how to interact with your members and when.
Love it. I mean, look, at the end of the day, people want to feel like they're a part of something, and they want to feel like they're a part of a community where they feel seen, they can have fun being themselves. And in a lot of cases, your gym provides that for your members, right? Inside the physical facility. That said, the other 23 hours of the day that they are not at your gym, having an online community like a thriving Facebook group is a phenomenal way to extend that experience for them and to stay in front of them. And ultimately, because we're recreating the same feelings and the same people that they're seeing inside the gym, ultimately this is compounding those relationships with that community and obviously therefore your business.
I couldn't agree more. And, I know I'm the queen of systems and I love a good system, and it may sound silly to systemize relationship building, but really what we're talking about here are some strategies and ideas to give people that warm and fuzzy feeling, and for you as the owner to learn things about your members that you may not already know, while encouraging your team and your coaches and really your community as a whole to get in on the action. So if you don't have a virtual Facebook community for your gym, create one now. Like after you watch this episode, stop what you're doing, go create it, because they can be so valuable. Like you said, they're powerful for your gym to feel like one collective group rather than like separate classes in a silo. But once you create your group, your work isn't done. You really need to engage with the group and make sure that people feel safe interacting and asking questions. So today, the goal for us is to talk through a few specific strategies to make sure that you are engaging with your group like clockwork.
Yeah, Emily, I think it still kind of blows my mind sometimes when I get on with a gym owner and I ask them, tell me about what you're posting in their group. And we don't have a group. And
Yeah.
because it's such an easy win, it allows you to have such a greater connection with people, with your people. And even if you have a small tribe, even if you have a small gym with just a handful of people, getting those people into the same room, whether physically or virtually, is going to create that, is going to carry that community effect further and further. And it's just such an easy win. It doesn't cost you anything aside from a little bit of time and a little bit of creativity, and you find yourself really building that community. And you can share more of those wins, especially people from other classes getting to know each other who don't get to see each other throughout the day. So I'm super glad we're talking about this. That said, I do want to acknowledge something that you said kind of at the beginning of that last little run was,
Sure.
systemizing relationship building. And I too have gotten people, I've seen people kind of cringe when they're like, oh, well, this is, it should just be human. Isn't it just supposed to be natural? And I look at it the same way as when maybe you could look at music, for example, right? And Emily, you have a background in music as well, so this hopefully will resonate. But
Yeah.
the whole reason you learn theory and you learn about the scales and the chords and the progressions and the rules behind it, and you create, which ultimately are the different systems within music, it gives you the freedom to be creative, right? Jazz is an expression of using those rules and using those systems through running it through your creative filter. And when you look at relationship building, which is also looked at as this very like natural organic thing, if you just treat it as like, well, I'm just going to do it off the cuff whenever I have a chance, that's great for those people who get lucky enough to have those interactions with you. But if you can turn it into something where, hey, I'm going to make sure that we post every single day, Monday through Friday. We've got a system as to what we post on what days, or what we do when we have a new member do their first group class together, or someone graduates on ramp or hits their first 100 classes, or any of these kinds of things. That there is a checks and balances in place to make sure that those things happen every time for everyone, because it feels super sad when someone gets it and someone doesn't get it, which
Yep.
I'm pretty sure we'll get into here as we go. But I just want to address that because some people do get that icky feeling when they think like, oh, I'm supposed to systemize this. Like, what else am I supposed to systemize? This is like the human factor. But it allows you to be more human and to really connect with each person, because everyone's going to get the same love. And that's super important to acknowledge here as we get into this.
I love the music analogy. And I think too, like, we're using the word system, which may seem icky to some people, but I think if you're doing it in an authentic, genuine way, then, always lead with authenticity.
100%.
And, these tools that we're giving people these ideas for just enable you to kind of start the communication process, right? You're still not done after these, but this is kind of the start. So yeah, the first thing that I just want to speak to is it's really important to have a systematic way that you're getting people into this Facebook group. So a few years ago, before I was at Rue full time, it was kind of like a member signs up and you personally friend them on Facebook and add them to your group. And some people were getting lost in the shuffle, and it kind of depended on who kind of onboarded them, if they even got into the group at all. So I try to think about, okay, how can I systematically get people into the group automatically? So I set it up in my software. As soon as I create their account in Wodify, it emails them a welcome email, welcome to the gym, download this app, and also here's a link to our private Facebook group. So that's happening automatically, and it's not a manual process. The other thing that I do, because I don't like to just communicate things one time, is that I put them into a welcome campaign where they're getting like tidbits about the gym, little something every day for the first like 7 days of membership. And one of the things that they get is a second invitation to our group. Like, hey, just in case you missed it in the email, make sure that you're in this group because we communicate really valuable things there. So it's not a tip to engage, but just make sure that you have a systematic way of getting people in there so you can engage.
For sure. That second follow-up that you send, is that done via email or is that done via SMS?
It's done via text message at my gym.
Nice. Okay, cool.
Yep. So they're getting one invitation via email, one via text.
Love it.
Yep. All right, the second thing that we do every week, we have a welcome. And if you're watching this podcast live in the Facebook group, you know that we do that in the Gym Breakthrough Facebook group. Every week, you get a welcome. And the secret here is to make it consistent. The last thing that you want to have happen is for 1 week, you post a welcome and tag everybody that's new in the group. And then the next weekend, somebody drops the ball and it doesn't happen, because the person that doesn't happen to, if they see in future weeks that people start getting welcome, they'll be like, well, what happened to my welcome, And you never want that to happen. You want everybody to have a consistent experience.
I have been guilty of that when responsible for the group by myself, where I didn't think it was as big of a priority as it was.
Yeah.
And, you're like, oh, so I missed a week. What's the big deal? And then I got messages. People actually said, hey, man, like, where was my shout out? It's like, you actually paid attention to that? Okay. So it is really important. And most people won't say anything. But the reality is that they notice, because people want to see their name. People know when, they're putting everyone's name up on the wall, whether it's like the employees at your office, or it's the new members at the gym and there's a new member wall where the pictures are up, or any of these things. If someone sees that there's a thing that they may see their name or their face on, they're waiting for it to happen. So when someone joins your group and they go scroll through and they see last week's post, or they don't see, maybe they don't, but then next week you roll someone else's post out, there's going to be some hurt feelings, and we want to avoid that, because that's unnecessary friction early on in the relationship. Feeling overlooked right out of the gate, which is one of the worst ways, one of the fastest ways to not make progress with your relationship building and really literally undo the good you've already done.
It's one of your first impressions that you're making, and it is your first impression that you're making in the group. So make sure, if you do implement a weekly welcome, make it consistent. And there's ways to systemize that. Make it the same day every day. If you want to pick Monday as your weekly welcome, make it happen every single Monday. You can write out like a swipe file. So all somebody has to do, an admin person or you, can just copy paste the welcome. Make sure to bring their attention to any like group rules that you have posted. And it's just a matter of copy and paste at that point, and it's not having to think of some like elaborate paragraph to write every week.
Love it.
The other thing that I just want to bring people's attention to, and maybe they know this, but I just want to make this super dummy proof. Facebook has a tool to make this really easy. So Facebook keeps track of all of the new members in your group. And there's a little, if you're an admin of a group, in the top right-hand corner every week, it says like, you have 23 new members in your group this week. Make a post and welcome them. So if you click that button, it tags everybody automatically. So it's not even a manual process of remembering who has made it into your group that week.
No excuses, guys. No excuses.
No excuses. All right. So the next one I want to talk through is what I call the decision post. And again, if you are in the Gym Breakthrough Facebook group, you probably saw me post a decision post yesterday. So I kind of teased that we are doing a future episode where we are turning the tables and I am going to interview you on your background and experience. So I asked in the group, hey guys, this podcast is coming up. I am preparing for it now, but I want to know from you guys, what about Marcus Guersey you want to know? And I asked them. So this is something that you guys can do in your Facebook groups for your gym as well. If you are creating a t-shirt design and it comes down to like design A and design B and you can't decide, leave it up to your members. Post pictures in the group and say, hey guys, which t-shirt design do you like best? Or if you are running a nutrition challenge and you want to get some feedback on what date is better to start. Would you guys rather start in January or February? And get people kind of interacting in the behind the scenes of your business.
I think that's super important. And even if you can make the decision yourself, right? Like the t-shirt, you can totally just put it to a vote with your staff or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
That's not really the point. Same thing with choosing when you're doing your nutrition challenge. You can ultimately make that decision on your own, no problem.
Totally.
But that's not the point. The point is that you're allowing them to participate in what's happening at the gym. And it's so powerful, right? Just like with your team. You could come into your team meeting and say, hey guys, this is what we're doing. This is our new, let's say, like ideal class template and how I'm going to be measuring you guys and blah, blah, blah. and it'll probably be received just fine. But that's a lot more like a dictatorship relative to coming in and saying, hey guys, let's talk about our class experience. Why is it so important? Let's all write our ideas down. Now, what are the things that you think makes a perfect class and you think makes a perfect class? Get them to participate. And then guess what? When you put together that final template, which can still be mostly your stuff, you still are the ultimate decision on it. You had their participation, so their buy-in level is higher. So when you want t-shirt sales to go up, or you want event attendance to go up, or participation of your nutrition challenge to go up, put it out there and allow people to participate in the decision-making process, which creates a sense of ownership, which means more likely to participate.
Totally. You're also just planting the seeds that these things are coming up. And I'll betcha the people that answer your question are the ones that are buying the t-shirt or participating in the challenge, because you've kind of planted the seed early on that this thing is about to happen. Plus, people get really excited when you take their advice.
Exactly right. They want to be part of it.
One tip that I have is to ask these in just an actual post. Facebook groups, you have the capability of creating a poll. And the secret here, guys, is you want to encourage engagement, right? So you want people liking, you want people commenting, because Facebook, the algorithm will then show it to more people. So you'll probably get way more engagement on a post where you just flat out ask the question rather than picking poll choice A, B, or C. So that's just a little tip I have.
Love it. What else you got for us, Sam?
All right. The next one is something that we implemented this year, and I love it. So I implemented something called the Roo Shoutout. I'm at Roo Fitness, so it's actually hashtag Roo Shoutout, and I have encouraged my team to get in on the fun. So what we do is the Roo Shoutout is the coaches. Well, this is how it started. The coaches kind of highlighting something awesome that somebody did in the gym. It could be a PR, it could be their first rope climb. I'm a nutrition coach. I post Roo shoutouts all the time with my nutrition clients when they've achieved a goal or done something awesome. But what I have loved about it is it has turned into just the entire community as a whole giving each other shout outs. It's not just the coaches giving shout outs to the members now. It's, member A giving member B a shout out for doing something in the gym awesome too. The other thing is it has turned into not just gym related or nutrition related shout outs, but for instance, we have a member who generally takes the 6:30 p.m. class. And he got a shout out last week just because he always sticks around and helps the coach close. He never leaves the coach to be the last one in the gym. He helps take out the trash. And so it's we're recognizing him because he did something awesome just to add value to our community.
Love that. That guy deserves a Christmas card.
Oh my gosh, he's awesome.
Yeah, something's working when your members start doing it.
Yeah.
Without you, right? It was something that you started and you thought it was only going to be your staff doing it. And then next thing you know, members start picking it up too. We had a similar thing which was That's Active. It was something to be an active athlete. And there was this, I don't want to say code of conduct, but it was this way of being that people would recognize each other, from being the first one to say hello to someone new, introducing them, walking them around, introducing them to other people, helping someone clean up their stuff, closing up the gym with a coach. Not because we ask anyone to do these things, but because this was just it just became the standard of what it was to be a star member, if you will. And people started doing it without us even saying it. They're like, That's Active. Yeah. And they even designed a shirt and said, hey, we want to get this shirt made. Can we get the shirt made? It was awesome.
I love it. Yeah, so good. When that stuff you always know that you have something when other people just in your community just start naturally doing it. I actually have, when I first started the Roo Shoutout, I felt like I was trying to make fetch happen. I was trying to make the Roo Shoutout happen. I was the only one doing it. And it took a little bit for it to catch on. We actually implemented a handwritten Roo Shoutout for our Member Appreciation Week, where we displayed them all at the party at the end of Member Appreciation Week. And that was kind of how I got the buy-in from my members to realize that it was a thing that we were doing. And that was really cool.
That must have looked really cool at the party too.
Yeah. All right. The next one is a weekly highlight. So every Friday, we just ask members, what was the highlight of your week? So where the Rue shout out is somebody else recognizing you for doing something, the weekly highlight is really, just a way to get members to talk about what went well that week. And we don't limit it. We actually say in the post, we're not limiting it to just gym stuff, right? Whatever about your week was awesome, we want to know about it so we can celebrate with you. And, I find out things about my members that I wouldn't have known otherwise. Like, I have a member that's in grad school and she aced all of her finals, and that was her weekly highlight. So the next time Summer walks into the gym, I can give her a high five, tell her, like, I knew you would do awesome in school. And it just, having that connection with my members is way different than other gym experiences that they have had in the past. And that's really the secret sauce.
No doubt. And again, what I like about not limiting it to gym stuff, which intuitively you may think like, oh, let's keep it to gym stuff so people aren't just saying a bunch of random stuff on here. But what it does is it allows people to get to know each other outside of that gym too. So it's not just you getting to know, oh, wow, she had her finals, great job, and you can hit her with a high five. Everybody else saw that too, right? So someone else maybe is like, oh, wait, what school do you go to? Like, I go there too. And next thing you know, conversations spawn. This is how community is fostered, is by people learning about each other's lives completely, not just the person that they are at the gym every day. And that's really what creates that glue. And, not to mention just create some really fun posts to go through. I always enjoy seeing what people put into those posts as well.
Right. So again, going back to what we were talking about at the beginning of this show, like, the systemized part is making sure that every Friday we're making a post asking people what the highlight of their week was.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not done after that. We're, engaging with each person that comments. And then next time they come into the gym, we're mentioning that we remember that about them. You know what I mean? So that's where the authenticity comes through.
Love that.
All right. The next one I have is a reminder post. So I find that whenever I implement something, whatever it is, it's not just about implementing it. It's about implementing it and then constantly reminding people what it is and why it's happening and how to achieve whatever it is. So, for instance, we have a monthly committed club. And, I implemented the committed club last year, and every single month, I think it's on like the 20th of the month, my admin goes in, she runs a report, she finds out who has made the committed club already. Okay. Mm-hmm. So she kind of gives those people a Rue shout out, and she doesn't stop there. She reminds them, what is the committed club? How do you get into the committed club? And again, it's a swipe file that's just the same every single month. It doesn't take any time at all to do, but it plants those seeds, especially for the new members that might, not remember what the committed club is from my welcome campaign. But it's like, oh yeah, this is a thing, and this is something that I want to get into. So yeah.
It's like this, how many times, Emily, have you heard this from a gym owner where they say, well, I sent out an email about it, I put up a social post, and it's like,
that's not enough.
Nobody, the between open rates and, what percentage of people who follow your page actually see the post or who happen to log in time or whatever it is. You cannot think in today's day and age with the volume of things that are out there and how many distractions we have in just a regular old day, that one email or even two emails or two posts, it's not sufficient. You have to remind them every way from Sunday over and over and over again. I mean, how many times have we done something where we sent out an email, we put up numerous social posts about it with comments and engagement and everything between then, and then the last day, someone's like, "Whoa, what do you mean? It's the first time hearing about this." And it's like, are you on the list? Yes. Do you follow? Yes. Did you see the post? Well, it's because we're all busy and we have so many things calling for our attention. So you have to just assume the worst and say, I'm going to post about this and share, or talk about this in all different mediums and different angles and saying it different ways consistently over and over. And the Committed Club was a perfect example, because you may think, we've had the Committed Club for like 2 years. Why do I need to say what it is again? New people is the main reason why. But some people also choose to kind of not engage when they're newer because they think, I'm just trying to work out. I'm just happy I'm showing up here. Like, I'm not even worried about what else is happening. And sometimes it takes people 3 months, 6 months, a year before they start really plugging in and realizing. So when in doubt, say it again and again and again on all your different channels over and over again, and you will have much better adoption of whatever it is that you're promoting.
Yeah. The other thing I'll say too about that is just to have fun with it. We do something silly every time like supplement orders comes in, and one of my admins sets up this like very elaborate display of all of the supplements that we
The
get
mountain.
every month, and we sell a lot of supplements, so that takes her some time. But we always like do a silly boomerang with it, and then remind people like how to get on the supplement order, how our subscribe and save works, like what to do with that whole process. So again, we're reminding them how the system works of ordering supplements, but we're having fun with it. And there was a whole discussion last month when she posted the display, like, how long does this take you to set up? And, so it can spark some fun conversations too. Just have fun with it.
Love it. Very good. All
All
right.
right.
So I'm going to throw a couple out here because there's
let's
a
go.
few I wanted to share too. You enough hogging the spotlight, Emily. Okay, so one that I've seen that I've liked, and this can be, it depends on the type of gym, but basically doing a weekly programming explainer video. And I think you guys do this at Rue too, right?
Yep, every Sunday.
So basically you create a quick weekly video that explains what we're going to be doing this week and why it's important or what we're looking for, so that there's that overall context and understanding that these aren't just random workouts. There is a method to the madness. And depending on your vibe at the gym too, really, if you have a gym where, let's say, programming is a big focal point because maybe you train a lot of competitors, or you're more traditional or more serious CrossFit gym, then this is a really good one to do because it adds context to a really important part of what you do, right? People who are doing this type of training want to know what we're doing and why, where we are in the cycle, etc. Now, if you train mostly soccer moms and average Joes, this may not get quite as much traction, but don't think that people don't care. People still like to understand, if anything, that there's a lot of thought that goes into what we do here. And even if I don't necessarily watch them all the time, just having caught half of one once and then seeing that they come out will remind me that my gym takes this very seriously. And maybe I'm not that like techie when it comes to training and programming and what goes into it. I'm maybe just working out seriously for the first time in my life, and I'm just trying to show up. It doesn't mean that there's not value placed on that. And overall, I think that we want to build value everywhere that we can, right? In this business, we want people to really understand that it isn't maybe as simple as it looks. And there's a lot of thought and effort that goes into these different things. Now, couple things. Now, the key here really is to make them fun. I mean, when in doubt, just make it fun. Be silly, be yourself. Even if the programming is total genius, a boring video is still a boring video. So if you're like, okay, guys, today, this week, we're going to be working on squat endurance, and you're going to see tomorrow, we're going to be nobody's going to enjoy that. Even your nerdiest athlete is going to be like, bro, come on.
Yeah.
So show up, have some good energy in it, and try to include visual aids for this one. I've seen lots of creative things done here. Those of you know, I'm a big fan of Level Method. It's a really good like level system for gyms who want to take these progressions, break them down. Lots more to that story. But point is that they have these really cool slides that they provide their gyms where it's beautifully laid out each day. So those gyms I've seen, they basically thumb through the slides and explain what they're doing this week. If not, you can use a whiteboard or a chalkboard and just write the programming up, put some things to it, just so that there's something to look at while you're talking. Because what nobody wants to see is you in your bedroom late on a Sunday and it's dark behind you and there's your unmade bed behind you and you're, okay, and we're going to be talking about squat endurance and this is what it's so boring. I'm going to turn it off. So try to make it interesting, use visual aids.
The other thing I'll add to that, Marcus, and you said make a video, but I think it's even better if you go live. And maybe that's what you were thinking, but Facebook just likes when you go live
Absolutely.
in a Facebook group. So definitely go live rather than creating a video and then posting it.
Yeah. When in doubt, guys, here's the reality. Videos are good. Live is better.
Yeah.
So when in doubt, do it live. It will always
And
be
it gives you the ability to interact with your members. If they have
for sure.
questions about what is happening on Tuesday, you can address those in the moment. So,
Well, and it just makes it more interesting. I think it makes it more appealing when someone watching a video not live tunes in and they see you start talking. It's like, oh, hey, what's up, Emily? Thanks for joining us. Oh, what's up, Brian? Oh, yeah, no,
yeah.
totally. People are like, wait, I missed this. Like there was a conversation I wasn't a part of. It makes
Yep.
it more human than this like perfectly, beginning to end just dry video. So absolutely, I agree 100%. Good advice.
Cool.
Another really good one that I've seen is post WAD member chats. And this was something you can do this a variety of different ways. So it can be a funny question. You walk up to members, like if I walked up to you after a workout and I walked up and asked you a silly question and you're like, just having to answer something funny, that could be something good to do. You could say, what did you think of the workout today? It can be serious. It can be funny. You can do it total like Billy Eichner style. I don't know if you guys have seen Billy on the Street.
Yep.
There's this show, this guy runs around New York City, just like super crazy high energy, asking people all sorts of crazy random stuff. You can have a lot of fun with this, but I want to give you a specific example because there's one of our gyms, this is Tiersa and Chris out of CrossFit Preferred in Arizona. They used this or did this in promoting their nutrition challenge last year, and they're about to do it again this year. But you can use the same concept for workshops or anything like this. But what you would do is you would walk up to someone after class and asking a member who had gotten great results from their experience doing this last time. So let's say you've done one of these previously. I know, Emily, you did this one before. I could approach you afterwards and say, hey, Emily, what was your experience doing this challenge last year? What did it change for you? And, are you doing it again? Knowing that your answer is yes. And then, what would you say to someone considering, doing the challenge? So basically it's like a testimonial for your nutrition challenge or attending your workshops.
Yeah.
And you can even add in like an ice bucket style challenge thing at the end where someone can nominate someone to do it, where you can say, well, and I nominate Marcus to do the challenge with me this year. And it makes it fun. Now you would tag me in the post, and now there's going to be comments, there's going to be engagement. Phenomenal way to draw attention to an event or workshop challenge, whatever it is. Just doing quick little after workout things can be a good way to promote it. Or you can just do it as something fun. You can have question of the week and just randomly ask people after their workouts. So just something else that I saw that really stood out to me. And she said it made a huge difference in the sign up for her, or the sign up rate for her challenge.
I love that. It's thinking outside the box.
For
Fun.
sure, right? Makes it super fun. Now the group, now it's
Yeah.
lively in there, right? Okay, so next what I wanted to do is address some common questions. So these are questions that we get all the time when we talk about setting up groups, running groups. These may seem obvious to some of you, or they may be eye-opening. But either way, I wanted to address these because I know they're going to come in the comments if we don't. So first question that we get is, how do I know what content to post in the group versus outside the group on our public page? I know I had that question when we first set up our private group. My partner was not very social media savvy. He's like, what do you mean we have two places to post now? How do we know what we put where? And I didn't realize that I had to answer that question, so we had to answer it. So my basic rule of thumb is this. If you need to be a member to know what the heck you're talking about, it should probably be inside the group. If you don't, then you should probably post it outside the group. So inside the group examples would be upcoming event reminder. Hey guys, don't forget, we've got the event. Make sure you sign up. Here's the link again. Hey, picture of someone who made a big mess of left their equipment out. Hey, who left this out? 20 burpees to whoever did whatever. Look who's back from vacation. Scott's back. Good to see you, buddy. Take a picture, something silly, or do a video. Pre-sale reminders and things like that, right? So these are things that you've already talked to your members about. They understand we're doing a pre-sale. We've got an event, our Christmas party coming up, the deal with leaving equipment out and that type of thing, right? Plus all the things obviously that you mentioned already. Now, outside of the group examples, things like your regular social media strategy, right? This is where you're telling the story of the gym. So quote cards, success stories, member shout outs, featured members, and links to articles and blog posts, event pictures, things that you want both members and non-members to see, right? So if it applies to both, share it outside the group. Anything else you want to add to those two lists?
I mean, generally, just I think our page is for people interested in potentially joining the gym, and our group is for members. So,
Right.
yeah,
Be
I
mindful
agree.
though, guys, if you're pointing, don't just put all your cool community fun stuff inside the group and then make the outside dry. That's a mistake I've seen too. You
Yeah,
want to
you want
make
to give
sure,
people FOMO.
right, give them FOMO, let them see. The whole trick to good social media is really just showcasing the magic and the fun of your community and the vibe of your community out to other people like that so they can get a sense of it as they're kind of auditing you in the sales process and just first starting to follow you and all that. So hopefully that helps you. All right, next question we get. How often should we be posting? What's your answer to that, Emily?
On the page, we
In the
post
group.
every day. In the group, um, so we have certain posts that happen on certain days. Like the committed club reminder is once a month. The highlight post is once a week. The welcome post is once a week. But outside of that, I've kind of given some parameters to my coaches. Like I want them giving a Roosh shout out at least once a month. So I've told them how often I want them to do it. I have 15 coaches, so that turns into quite a bit.
There's half your month.
But we're not trying to post a certain number of times a day outside of that. My big thing is I just want it to be authentic. So
For
you
sure.
can find one thing every month to give somebody a shout out for. Like that's easy, right?
For sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think when in doubt, try to post once per day, right? And you'll notice, I mean, in your case, and again, you guys do a phenomenal job with your content. So I think it's because you guys have so much volume of meaningful stuff because you have so many individual initiatives that you recognize all of them, and lots
Yep.
of which we didn't even talk about today that are just unique to what you guys do and other aspects of the business. You guys are probably posting anywhere from 1 to 3 times a day sometimes with just overall volume that happens.
I mean, not necessarily just us either. We're definitely getting that many posts a day, but it's our community posting too. It's not like I've told my admin team or my coaches, like, you need to be posting this amount of times a day.
Mm-hmm.
But we get people coming to the group and sharing things.
That's because
Like,
you condition them to do that, though. That's because you
yes,
made that the standard. It's because you guys are
exactly.
constantly posting meaningful things, right? So, like I
Yep,
said, when in doubt, if you're trying to jump, like you're just starting your group and you're like, well, where do I even begin? It's not
yep.
difficult to come up with something interesting to either ask, post about, share, highlight. To pick one thing per day, give yourself a basic template to start and start getting activity going. Because if you lead, then they will follow and they will start posting and they will start sharing. And that's where the volume comes from. And as you grow your business, this will continue to grow if you stay on top of it. But if you take your foot off the gas with this, which again, I've been guilty of too, where if you don't post regularly, it will go crickets,
Hmm.
right? Until the group is really established. So
Yep.
that's what I would say to that.
Couldn't agree.
Next question, last question. Should I keep members in the group after they quit? What do you guys do?
We don't have a process that when somebody quits, we kick him out of the group.
Mm-hmm.
We do highlight it in the sales process as one of the benefits to being a member. Like, you get access to this private virtual community.
Mm-hmm.
But when people leave, we don't have a process where we automatically kick them out. Sometimes I remove people from the group. It's a person by person decision, though. If I feel like they're still adding to the community and that there's a good chance that they may be back in the future, then yeah, I'm keeping them in.
Yeah, I think you can't necessarily go wrong with this here. I mean, it's up to you. I prefer to keep people in the group as it can often make them miss the gym and want to come
Yeah.
back.
Yep.
Some people are super hard nosed on exactly what you just said. Hey, you're no longer a member here. You're out of the group. You're no more fun for you. And
Right.
and then they're removed from the group. Which, at the end of the day, I don't think there's necessarily a right or wrong answer to it. But whatever you do, just try to do it as consistently as you can. And in your case where you're keeping most people in, unless it's a case like you're just doing a case by case basis, right?
Yeah.
It's not like, hey, where did everybody else go, but why did Susie get to stay?
Right.
That's the only time it gets weird is when you're inconsistent with whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's it for today. Guys, if you have anything that you do that you think is unique and that works really well in your community, we'd love to hear it. Please put it in the comments below. And after all is said and done, I just want to say thank you guys for joining us again today. And if you're interested in learning how we can help you turn your gym into a thriving business you actually love to own, including creating a comprehensive content plan to engage both members and non-members, I want to invite you to book a free breakthrough call with me by visiting gymbreakthrough.com today. This will be the most valuable hour you have spent working on your business all year, I promise, because we are going to dissect where you are, what your challenges are, what is it you're looking to accomplish, and whether you work with us or not, I'm going to help point you in the right direction so that you know exactly what you need to do to get to your goal. And so time slots are limited. Book your session today. That's it for today. We'll see you guys again next time. Thank you, Emily. Until then.
Yeah. Bye.